Stan here again. We are taking a closer look at Chapter 8 of Stane Street today, the book about the 2,000-year-old Roman road in the south of England that runs 58 miles from Chichester to London. In this chapter, we travel from the town of Dorking and on towards Epsom. Most of the Roman road has been buried for centuries, but bits and pieces turn up in the local history. Come along and explore with me. Heading north from Dorking, we stick to the A24, which is probably the route Stane Street took. But other than finding a few 4th century coins, there is no trace of the road. Old records show that there was an 18th century toll gate near the Beehive Public House near the river. This is where the Pilgrim Way crosses Stane Street. This Winchester to Canterbury Trail is the best known pilgrim track in England. Hilaire Belloc called it the Old Road in his 1904 book. Also crossing here is the East-West Roman Road, which follows the Bronze Age Road along the North Downs. Traces of a Roman bridge were found where we crossed the River Mole at Bulford Bridge. We are now in the Mole Gap. The Romans went this way, as it was the only cut through the North Downs. Passing the hotel, we switch to the Old London Road, which shortly comes to the aptly named Zigzag Road up Box Hill. Taking a little side trip up this road, we find Lodge Hill and Broadwood's Folly. The tower, with the tree coming out of it, was built around 1815 by Thomas Broadwood of the piano manufacturing family. Made of flint, the 8-meter structure has excellent views of the Surrey Hills and Juniper Hall. Being a folly, we're not sure why it was built. For some reason, Denby's Winery in Dorking named some of its wines after the folly. Back down the hill, we come to Juniper Hall, with its interesting history. This country house was originally built as the Royal Oaks Public House in the 1750s. It became a country manor by 1815. During one of the additions, the graves of 2 Anglo-Saxon skeletons in full armor were dug up. During World War II, the Canadian Army used Juniper Hall while developing the D-Day invasion plans. Now owned by the National Trust, it is used by the Field Studies Council for science and geography studies. Stane Street ran across what is now the lawn. Getting out of the Mole Gap, the road actually turns to the east and follows the side of Juniper Hill. To the west is the village of Mickleham, where in 1730 Sussex beat Surrey in an inter-county cricket match. Close to the village, during World War II, a V-2 rocket crashed down but fortunately did not explode. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Once we get across the woodland of Mickleham Downs, we find the route of Stane Street again going straight for a few kilometers. On the west is Cherkley Court, the former home of Press Baron Lord Beaverbrook. During his stay there between 1910 and 1960, he entertained the powerful and the famous of the times. He was very active during World War I and II, and involved in King Edward VIII's abdication. The house has now been turned into a 5-star hotel and golf course. On the other side of the road is Tyrrell's Woods Golf Course. The clubhouse is a beautifully restored country manor. Still following the road through tree-edged fields, we find that the track underneath our feet is now full of pebbles. Unsurprisingly, the street name changes from Stane Street to Pebble Lane. We now come to a bridge over 8 lanes of the M25, with cars traveling at over 120 kilometers per hour. Could the Romans have ever imagined that? A bit further along, we find a signpost at a footpath showing Stane Street and 30-acre barn stud farm. The path curves to the east as shepherds walk, and Stane Street once more disappears. If we follow the straight line, which would have been the route of the road, we come to yet another golf course and another great mansion, Woodcote Park. The original house was built in 1679 and was bought by the Royal Automobile Club in 1913 for its members. During the wars, it was used as a training facility, and the beautiful grounds were dug up to grow food. That's the end of the rope in Chapter 8. Ever wonder where Epsom salts come from? Join me in the next chapter, and we'll find out. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want a copy of the book, I've put a link in the description below. Until next time, this is Stane taking a closer look. Bye for now.